All right, guys, we're going to get started. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. I'm Joe Green, president and founder of FWD.us, and if I start to not make any sense, it's because I haven't gotten much sleep. So somebody just wave at me. So we're gonna have a couple amazing speakers to talk about the issue of immigration, and then we're gonna take just a couple minute break, and we're gonna have our judges come out, and then we're gonna start the presentations. Who's excited to see the hackathon presentations? So first I want to introduce my good friend and immigration mentor, Jose Antonio Vargas. He really just deserves, I don't think we should throw the word hero around lately, but Jose is a hero. I actually got to know Jose quite a while ago, before I knew he was undocumented. I think he knew it at the time. He was writing a New Yorker profile of Mark Zuckerberg, and I was interviewed for that profile, and we got to know each other and stayed in touch. And when I started working on this, he was literally one of the first people that both Mark and I called. So please give it up once more time for Jose Antonio Vargas.
Okay, I'm timing myself, so wait. Okay. When you do something like this, so I publicly disclosed being undocumented 2.5 years ago, which is crazy, you know? I had 31 lawyers, all of whom said, don't do this. You really get to know who your friends are, right? And so within, I think, the New York Times posted the essay at like 9 o'clock a.m. And I think 3 hours later, Joe was one of the first people that said, oh man, I just read the essay. How can I help? I didn't know, how can I help? So thank you, Joe. And I should really just say thank you to FWD.us, to Mark and to Joe and to Reed and Drew, to Todd, Rob, and Alida. Where's Alida Garcia? Can you stand up? Stand up. Who has been, such a force in making sure that this hackathon happened. And this hackathon to me is a really important day. As far as I'm concerned, like the rise of technology and social media, allowing anyone anywhere to tell their stories and connect with each other is what I call the age of positive disruption, right? And FWD.us has positively disrupted the immigrant rights movement. And this hackathon, marrying dreamers, their families, and their stories to the story of Silicon Valley and its optimistic entrepreneurial drive and spirit is part of that positive disruption. So I actually started writing about technology and social media in 2006, before they even called it social media. And this is where I got to know Joe and Reed and Mark when I profiled Mark, as Joe said, for the New Yorker. This was in 2010. So after I wrote that profile, 6 months later, I told the world that I was undocumented. And my interest in technology is not because I'm a coder or an engineer. I'm not smart like that. My interest in technology and the rise of social media, of people telling their stories, insisting on their humanity, and to be seen as human beings is more anthropological. For me, it's not about the gear, it's about the people. It's not about the gear, it's about the people. And storytelling is at the heart of what I do as a writer and as a filmmaker. And storytelling to me is at the heart of the products that a lot of these Dreamer hackathons and this hackathon have built. And if you think about it, storytelling is at the heart, right, of this issue of immigration. What Mark just yesterday called one of the most important civil rights movement of our time, right? And yet the issue continues to be the most controversial yet least understood issue in America. And I can tell you that as somebody who's been to 190 events in 40 states in 2.5 years. I get asked questions like, why don't you just make yourself legal? What do you mean you're not Mexican? Why haven't they deported you? I'm like, I don't know, ask the government. And for me, storytelling is at the heart of this hackathon. Telling your stories, which in many ways is the quintessential immigrant story, a week before Thanksgiving, by the way, which in some ways is the quintessential American immigrant holiday, and connecting it to the story of a changing America, right? Storytelling to insist that we, the 11 million undocumented people in this country, we are not who you think we are. And this issue is way beyond the US-Mexico border and the illegal that some of you still call us, right? And as far as I'm concerned, as you all know, there are a lot of positive disruptions happening all across the country, right? Dreamers like you and the Dreamers moms, the moms of undocumented people, right? Organizing, staging sit-ins across the country, and committing civil disobedience. As we speak right now, there's a longtime advocate, Eliseo Medina, who's been a veteran of the migrant farmers movement, has actually been fasting. He's been fasting since November 12th until Congress, our House of Representatives, take on this issue. The last thing I want to say, since I have 30 seconds left. I grew up here. When I came here from the Philippines when I was 12, I landed on Farley Street, which is literally 8 blocks from here. My middle school is Creighton Middle School, right around there. When I first learned the national anthem, I thought they said, "Oh, Jose, can you see?" So I was like, oh my God, they're like so welcoming. I got here and my name is... And then I remember the first movie I saw was at the Shoreline Amphitheater right here, and the movie was The American President. You probably don't remember this. It was a movie where Michael Douglas was the president, and Annette Bening was this really, really amazingly attractive, beautiful woman. And at one point at the end of the movie, Michael Douglas, as President Andrew Shepard, gives this amazing speech. You should YouTube it. And he said, "America isn't easy. America is advanced citizenship. You have to want it really bad because this is going to put up a fight." And that was kind of around the same time that I found out, after going to the DMV off El Camino, that my green card was fake. So it's been a fight for me. It's been a fight for all the dreamers in this room and your family. And I think we must remember that the fight is worth it. As far as I'm concerned, we're all Americans. We're just waiting for our government and our country to recognize it. So thank you so much for having me here. I'm really, really grateful.
So next off, I get to introduce Nicole Sanchez. Nicole and I, we actually were reminiscing. We met many, many years ago when I was working on my first company, Causes, in Berkeley. And she was doing some great work with Berkeley High School. Nicole has done just some amazing activism. And now she's at the Kapor Center for Social Impact, where she leads an organization that's at the intersection of racial and social justice and technology. Thank you, Nicole, for being here.
Buenas noches. ¿Cuántos aquí son latinos? That's what I thought. ¿Cuántos aquí son raza? That's what I thought. Hello, Hector Preciado from LinkedIn, who is not only my brother in spirit, but also my classmate from Haas. And he's been a great host here at LinkedIn. I want to thank Jose for having us here tonight, and thank Joe for bringing me onto this panel. My name is Nicole Sanchez, and I work for an organization called the Kapor Center for Social Impact. We're in Oakland, and we work directly at the intersection of racial social justice and technology. And why is that important, you're thinking? We were founded by Mitch Kapor and Frida Kapor Klein, each of whom are pioneers in their own right, one in technology and one in racial social justice. And what we believe is that when the ecosystem of technology creators more accurately reflects the country, the kinds of disruptions and technologies that will come out of places like Silicon Valley will actually move the needle on major social issues. So that's why we believe in things like this Dreamer Hackathon, like the hackathons we just held with 250 low-income kids of color, grades 6 through 12 here in Mountain View and in Oakland, who came up with some of the most amazing concepts for mobile apps I've ever seen, and I see a lot of company pitches in my work. These kids came up with apps about walkability between home and school based on crime data. They came up with apps about how to meet mentors of color who looked like them and were in the fields that they wanted to get into. We had folks who came up with apps that were about translating things for their parents in hospitals. We had all kinds of apps that we're not seeing come out of places like Silicon Valley yet. But if you look around this room, take a second and look around this room, and especially let your eyes linger on the dreamers, This is what California looks like. And this is increasingly what the nation looks like. But it is not what Silicon Valley looks like yet. And that's why folks like the Kapor Center for Social Impact exist. Because we believe that tech hubs like Silicon Valley, like what's happening in Kansas City, like what's happening in Austin, like what's happening in Silicon Alley in New York, when it looks like this, we're actually going to see technology take us to the next step of civilization. We do believe in technology as a major means of creating equality and justice, and the arbitrariness of borders, okay, is something that's just in our way. Somewhere along the line, we have lost the cures to cancer. We've lost the next social connection platform. We've lost cars that could probably run on water, which is always an ongoing joke. We've probably lost this because of the arbitrariness of things like where you're born in life, what border you had to cross, or the border that crossed you, in the case of many of us in this room. And that's just ridiculous, because humanity needs the kinds of innovations that are going to come out of rooms like this. Geniuses are everywhere. Geniuses are not just in this zip code. Geniuses are in Jalisco. Geniuses are all over the Philippines. Geniuses are in places where we haven't looked yet as a society. And that is a waste, because all that time spent waiting for the next innovation is time lost. Time lost on equality, time lost on education gaps, time lost on political activation. That's why we do what we do. Silicon Valley likes to talk about risk, and that every entrepreneur should take on risk. Risk is good. Do this. And I venture to say that dreamers and your families have actually embodied risk in a way that most of Silicon Valley cannot understand. We're talking about parents and grandparents like mine who risked life and limb to come to this country to give us a better life. And that's why I'm very honored to be here today. And I hope not just that you all get something out of this, but that Silicon Valley as an ecosystem can understand what you have to offer in terms of understanding risk, innovation, and disruption. So I'm very happy to be here today. You can follow us on Twitter, Kapor Center. You can go visit our website, kaporcenter.org. We want to hear a lot about what you all are doing here. And I want to again thank all of the organizers for bringing me here today and giving me a few minutes to talk. Thank you.
So last but certainly not least is a good friend of mine, Sergio Fernández de Córdova, which is one of the great names of all time. Sergio is going to share his amazing story. I actually just reached out to Sergio, I think it was last week, and I had told him about the Dreamer Hackathon. He's like, I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to be there. And he has an amazing personal story. He's an accomplished entrepreneur. Now he started something called the Public Foundation, which helps to take a lot of unused public advertising space and direct it towards good causes. So, Sergio.
Buenas noches. So I'm going to give it a different twist here, and I'm just going to basically start by telling you I am a dreamer. I came to... Sometimes you get caught up in, just living this crazy life that you forget, like all the different challenges you went through. And it's like funny, I was having this conversation with a bunch of my friends the other day, and we're talking about minorities. And I was like, yeah, I'm a minority. And they're like, you're a minority? And they're like, yeah. I was like, I came here when I was 9. My story is I came to the United States on vacation when I was 9 years old. I was born in Peru. And my mother just wanted to come here, and it was my father's dream for us to grow up in America. And when I came in, it was time to go back. I told my mother, I'm staying here. I'm never going back, and I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. So my mother said, that means you'll be an illegal immigrant. And of course, at 9 years old, I had no idea what that meant. And I was like, sure, that sounds cool. and little did I realize that it was going to take me, 17 years to become an American and 12 years to get a green card. And, in Peru, we had a pretty good life. And, when I moved to the United States, I was sleeping on floors and, cutting grass. And literally my mom was back in Peru, and she left me here with my uncle and getting into fights fights with the American kids because they were like, hey, you're spick, you're dirty Mexican, and all this stupid shit. And pardon my French. And sorry, I'm from New York. It's just hard to not curse. He told me to please at least no F-bombs. So, you know, it was really, you know, to me, it was just became a way of life. And I think that, you know, why I started with I Am a Dreamer is because, you know, my life as an immigrant has, you know, although I might look like I didn't have any problems, my entire life has been a hurdle after a hurdle. And one of the reasons why I jumped on a plane was because this is something that's, you know, very near and dear to me and very passionate about because I've lived it. I've been there and I understand it and I felt it and I've never forgotten and never will forget, you know, what I had to fight. And yes, you know, I'm here because this is the land of opportunity. I'm here because I want to build a better life and for me, for my kids, and I'm a global citizen. So it's not just that, you know, I'm going to be here and then move back. I want to be here and then help my people and my people's people. And hence, you know, I started, you know, I actually, when I was 12, I started a newspaper, and which is, you know, the greatest irony of it all is how do you start a business as an illegal immigrant? Well, they told me that the one greatest advice I got was pay your taxes. And I said, 10 years old. I'm like, how am I going to pay my taxes? I don't have a social security number. So that, yeah, I made up a number. You know, I made up a social security number. So for the next 14 years of my life, I was paying taxes as, you know, with you know, made up social security number. I got my license. Everybody thought I was an American kid. And, you know, and you guys talk about, you know, the fake visas and fake green cards. I actually faked mine. And you know, fast forward, you know, after building a newspaper, I started a bunch of .coms. When the .com came in, I started a billboard business in 2003, and again, kind of going after the impossible, which is starting a brick and mortar company, and built the business, what became the third largest privately owned outdoor advertising company in the U.S., raised $500 million, and, you know, thank you, and changed laws, and became very passionate about, you know, the ability of an immigrant coming from another country, not understanding, you know, the landscape and really changing the landscape in every industry that I got involved. And I've been, you know, very passionate ever since. And Joe will tell you, it's just, you know, I like to get involved. And you know, when I go in, I go all in. And I just think that, you know, the greatest, you know, takeaway and something that I'd love to just, you know, I guess bestow on you is that, you know, don't give up. It's, you know, it's a fight worth fighting. And it's just, I think it's the greatest driver is the passion that exists in here. I mean, I was watching everybody really, you know, really hustle and work and trying to come up with these solutions. And, you know, as an immigrant, yes, you can impact change. I've changed laws, things that people told me impossible. In the industry that I did, it was 35 years since the Highway Beautification Act was the last time anybody changed any laws in the outdoor advertising world. I rewrote the entire infrastructure in the legal system. Now I have an infrastructure company working on smart cities and working on how to develop and that future of tomorrow today, working with at the intersection of government, media, and technology, and a foundation, which is, you know, we're working with Forward to help get this message out and empower media to tell the stories of everyone here. And so, you know, with that, I'll end. Otherwise, I'll be up here for like 2 hours, and I will slip. So, so thank you very much, and congratulations, everyone, for all the hard work.
So please stay in your seats. We will be back in just a minute with our panel for judging. Dreamers, deep breath. You're going to do great. So let's, we're going to go out. Hello? Okay, good. All right, guys, we're going to get started. Please take your seats. I promise we have plenty of time for pictures. So we have a pretty amazing panel of judges here, combining some of the top minds in the tech community, some of the top minds in the fight for immigration reform, and some people that are both. So starting at the end, we've got Andrew Mason, who founded Groupon and is one of our great supporters at FWD.us. Nicole Sanchez, who you all have just met. Mark Zuckerberg. Jose Antonio Vargas, you all met, and Drew Houston, co-founder and CEO of Dropbox. So I'm going to hand it over to Flo now, who many of you have met before, who is our host here at LinkedIn, and she's going to explain the rules.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. And Joe is our last judge. So give it up for all the judges, please. And thank you all for coming to LinkedIn. We host a lot of hackathons here, and this is the first of its kind. So we're really excited to see everyone from around the US and outside global citizens be here. For me personally, I've seen a lot of hackathons. I've been in a lot of them. The most impressive thing about this crowd was how passionate they all each about their ideas. They really live and breathe all the things that they worked on today. So I think you will be impressed when that comes through. So here's how it's going to work. There's going to be one team here and one team there, and they will have 3 minutes each and 5 minutes for questioning, and you will be cut off at that time because we want to keep it nice and light. Alrighty, and actually I should mention there are 3 themes, 3 winning themes: best design, best advocacy, and best storytelling. So those are the 3 winning themes. So up first, we have the dream team over here. Are you guys here? Give it up, come on up. And you're in podium 1, and in podium 2, Unheard Voices. Come on up. Actually, bring. Just remember, you're going to introduce yourselves, your name, where you're from, and then that doesn't count towards the 3 minutes, and then it's all yours, so take it away.
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm from New York.
Hi, I'm Raul. I'm from Santa Barbara.
I'm Rolly. I'm from New York.
Okay, cool. So the app we worked on is called the Dream Network, and the primary focus of the app is to get valuable information. So get every dreamer on here, get valuable information from them, and visually show that information to educate everyone about, what kind of things dreamers bring to the table and what positive impact we have. So I'm gonna, if you could scroll down a bit. One of the things, by the way, these were statistics that are aggregated from actual dreamers, more specifically the 20 of us who are participating in this hackathon. So you could see we have a map where everyone's from California so far, but the hope is to actually have a wider scope of dreamers from all over the US to see what state they're from. And more importantly, if you scroll down further, this one's the more important one, where me being from India, it's someone not from Mexico, it's really important to me to showcase that dreamers come from all over the world, and the hope is to also use this as a way to show everyone, that dreamers do indeed come from all parts of the world, including Asia, Africa, and other continents. We have some further information, just a little hobbies aggregation, and then age, gender, and this one's the most important one to me, the industry. And if you can see, based on the 20 hackathons, they're all software, but yeah, that's that's where we're at currently. But to me, this is the most important statistic and metric, because we can really get interesting with this, where the hope would be to kind of have more people within other industry, dreamers from other industries, give their information and have a good pie chart, and have another pie chart right next to it, which is more of a on the demanding side, where they're the next top growing jobs in the US or the next 10 years, and kind of map the dreamers, kind of see where how the dreamers fill in the holes and the gaps. So I think that's really cool to show, what impact we have on the economy and the job sector. And yeah, of course we have some other stats. And also, so this is for basically a non-dreamer audience. For Dreamer itself, this serves as a network for all the dreamers to keep in touch with each other. So I'm gonna ask you to go to the homepage. In the homepage, to kind of give them a good feel that Dreamer's already on here, we have like a Dreamer roulette, where we have some folks who are already on here. So this will kind of reel them in into, make them feel comfortable that, I can sign for this network. So if you go ahead and log in, we're gonna log in through Facebook. Yeah. So yeah. Can I keep going?
Nope. Nope.
Can you log in at least? No.
What does it look like?
Okay, so.
Oops, sorry.
No. It's Q&A.
Q&A time?
Okay, Q&A. All right.
All right. So what does it look like when you're logged in?
Nice. So when you're logged in, what we give you is, we just give you like a generic profile, but more importantly, our focus for internally this tool is that we want the dreamers to get in touch with each other based on their special interests and their special needs. So we have all the dreamers on this network will have a way to communicate it with each other based on their profession, based on the college they went to. So if you could click on Find Dreamers, you can, if I want to see a dreamer from Colombia, I found one. So yeah, or one from China too. So using these different metrics to, find dreamers who are also in the same boat as you, and find a way to keep in touch with each other. And yeah, that's all the movement is all about, is having this network where all of us are together, and encourage more people to come out of the shadows and have this solidarity network to be in. Yeah.
Well, as someone who believes a lot in connecting people,
are you talking about yourself?
I think this is a pretty neat idea. One of the things that I thought was pretty interesting about this event overall is that a lot of the Dreamer Hackathon participants didn't know before, were really surprised that there were so many other Dreamer engineers and coders. And the power of helping people understand that there are more people out there that are like them, that share their interests and what they do, can really play a big role in pushing the movement forward. So I think it's a really great idea. And I think you should keep working on it. I guess my question is, what is speed cubing?
You would have to ask one of the dreamers who gave that interest. We scraped that off Facebook, so I don't know what's all that about.
I see.
Who's
just blame it on
Facebook?
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
It was actually me. It's solving a Rubik's Cube. It's solving a Rubik's Cube.
You have 12 seconds.
One of the things I want to mention, that we want to give people a reason to sign up in order to get data, in order to get statistics and show the data. So finding other dreamers is one of the ways that we want to do that. We're trying to think of like other ways to get people to sign up.
When you get all the data in there, what do you think people are going to find the most surprising about the results?
Diversity and the industry, because those are the two big stereotypes. Diversity, you think every dreamer is from Mexico, and as far as profession goes, we're just here doing low labor jobs, which is clearly not true. We've got some of the top engineers here, and well, maybe, I don't know. And also, I'm sure there's a lot more in, future lawyers, doctors, accountants. So that to me, that's really important. And also the college aspect that, we had a good 4-year education. So, we can really, take on one of the more important jobs and, serve a good part of this economy.
I like your confidence.
Yeah, kind of nervous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
you. That's it. Next up, hashtag UndocuLife. Are you here? Alrighty, you guys come on up here and make sure to introduce yourselves and explain your prop too while you're at it. Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
No, not you.
Hi, my name is Eric and I'm from New York.
My name is Gerardo. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
My name is Isabel and I'm from here, from California.
My name is Saraya Espinosa and I am from East Palo Alto.
Okay, well, immigration reform has been a serious and heavy issue, which makes it very difficult to conduct open negotiations on in Congress. With that in mind, our mission for the last 24 hours has been to harness the power of humor and its universal reach as a medium to spread awareness. To achieve this, we have built a platform to aggregate the video messages from fellow reform supporters. The videos are intended to be humorous, depicting ridiculous activities and comparing them to the inaction by our Congress. There you go.
So I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour of what we came up with here. On our homepage here, you see our logo up on the top left. It's Unheard Voices is the name of our team. On the homepage, you're going to be seeing the news feeds of all the videos, and I'm going to go over like what all the videos are. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me bring that down. All right. So here, we're going to go to our mission. We have it's a very short thing here. Our mission is kind of like a picture of all the people that made this group, and this group is made up of dreamers and mentors. And in this website, we come to see that there's an unconventional approach to bringing awareness to immigration reform. We strongly believe that this is that in comedy there's no borders or boundaries. Therefore, we all share a common thread in humor. So what we kind of came up with was kind of like a little bit of an edge. We're everybody's gonna be kind of on the more serious side. Let's do something a little wacky and crazy. But then at the same time, keeping that once we bring these people in to our website through these things, which we kind of had our hashtag, what's crazier than, people were gonna come to see this video and watch the video directly here or click here on our YouTube channel and watch a short clip kind of like this one.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
My name is Eric, and you know what's crazier than not passing immigration reform? The fact that we're still doing the Harlem Shake. What would you do with immigration reform?
So this is kind of what we want to go based on these short clips, right? We're gonna have this will be kind of the candy that brings the people in. What are these people doing? Every morning people want to wake up to see something funny, something silly. So we're let's take it with that approach. So with this website, people are gonna be able to put these videos here and have quick access to sharing, liking on Facebook, sharing on Google+. Is it over? Keep on going. Questions? Okay. Yes, no? I don't know.
I spoke to your team yesterday, and I'm so glad sense of humor is something that you guys took really seriously. I cannot overstate the importance of sense of humor and trying to communicate to people what the experience actually is. It allows people a way to look into a very serious issue, right? In a way that's humorous, but also, some of the most truthful things are jokes. And so I'm really glad that you're going that way. And because there's so much content out there, but they're so serious that most people, I call it the broccoli and cheesecake. We talked about that yesterday, right?
Yes.
Broccoli and cheesecake. People don't want to eat the broccoli. They want the cheesecake. This is like a mix of both.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
It's the Brock cheesecake. So what happens after you have an audience for funny videos? I mean, I have a complete respect for the importance of a sense of humor, but then what?
I'm glad you asked because that's the part that I run out of time with. Okay, so then after we have these people in here and interested in all these like videos that are going on, you go to the tab where it says, what is immigration reform? So kind of like we were talking about earlier, right? Like a lot of people don't even know what it is. A lot of people are like, it's a really heavy issue, so they kind of don't want to go to it like more like of a serious like type of way at it. So we're gonna like do it through a humorous way. So when they come to our page, like everybody else, you go to a page and you go through all the tabs on top, right? That's kind of like the normal thing to do. So then when you do that, you go into this tab, what is immigration reform? And here is where the serious like videos are of like the actual things that are happening with immigration reform. Like what are the stories of the people? What is Congress doing about it? Is there any updates on the immigration reform? And then we have this awesome link that you guys might recognize, where if people want to take action, they have easy access to this tab where like, hey, you know what? Like I've never heard of immigration reform, but let me go to this tab, like whatever. Okay, they go on it, they find this, or like, whoa, like there's like a bunch of stuff here that says take action, and then you do it. You kind of like, it gives you like that little window, that little portal to like take action and find out what is immigration reform and like get involved for the people that didn't know what it was. Thank you.
Definite bonus points for sending people to the FWD.us website.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, next up, Dreamers Together. Are you guys here? Excellent. Don't forget to introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go.
Got it. You don't start yet. It's like a theme.
Okay, well, I'm Carlos. I'm a dreamer. I'm from New York.
Hey, I'm Josh. I'm an engineer and mentor from Philadelphia.
My name is Celso Mireles from Phoenix, Arizona.
This is Eric Garcia from Arizona as well.
I'm Grace. I'm a software engineer and a mentor, and we have a remote member joining us from Vietnam. His name is Córdoba.
Awesome. So, as activists in the forefront of this fight, we see our community being victimized by immigration system that's broken. We see the hardship, we feel the pain, while politicians just basically play with our lives, playing politics. So we wanted to tell the stories of the 11 million undocumented immigrants by letting you have the chance to experience the obstacles that we face every day and empower you guys to take action while also trying to empower the community by informing them about their rights. How are we going to do this? We have UndocuLife.
So UndocuLife is a virtual world, and we're going to walk you through the life of John. He's an undocumented immigrant. He's a single father. He has a cute little girl, and he has to work 2 jobs. I don't know if you hear the nice music. He has to work 2 jobs to support his family, which is very common in undocumented families because employers feel that they, don't have to pay us as much as any other person, but we still have families to take care of. So there he is in his workplace, and immediately we have an opportunity to interact with the life of an undocumented person. And his boss says, you have to work 8 extra hours without overtime pay, and you're gonna do it. And here we have a choice, and this is, this is where you can choose. You can say 1, no, I can't. It's my daughter's recital, which he's excited to go to after work. 2, okay, boss, I'm gonna work. Just accepting that oppression. Or 3, maybe pushing back a little, saying, okay, but you need to pay me overtime because you haven't done so before. So let's say that he pushes a little, but then the employer says, do you want me to call immigration on you? And this happens a lot. Our community is intimidated and oppressed, when our community tries to speak up. Eventually, our undocumented person here, he's empowered. He knows his rights, and he says, I'm gonna report you to the Department of Labor. After which the employer sort of backs off and says, okay, whatever. Go see your daughter's dance recital. I don't want any trouble. not everything's, very happy ending, though, because as soon as he goes to the dance recital, a police officer stops him, and through Arizona-like legislation, this officer has the right to ask him, are you a U.S. citizen? Are you a U.S. citizen? And of course, our community, we feel intimidated. Sometimes we say yes, just out of need, to say something. But when we say yes, the police officer will investigate further, realizing that he actually lied, and that lands you in jail. And this is a sad reality. This happens a lot. This is happening to 11 million of our community members, people like you, like myself, like my parents, and this is why we fight.
So who's the main audience? Is the main audience, because I actually think something like this would be really useful. I just had a talk with a bunch of 5th graders at a school in Wisconsin, of all places, who didn't know about this, don't know the realities of it. And I think this is something that you can easily give, kids.
Or Congress.
And
Definitely.
Congress. Yes.
Yeah, I think definitely our primary audience is undocumented people, so that they can learn about what their rights are. But we also realize that this serves to let other people know just how hard it is to be undocumented.
Cool.
So can you tell us why you have a team member in Vietnam?
So the idea came from me whining about us not having an idea for the hackathon and what we should do, and he works at Zynga, and so inevitably he's like, make a game. So that's how it happened.
But we felt there was a different approach as well. We wanted to kind of give a different scenario, a virtual experience, because our lives are not games. We're just trying to paint the reality of what it is, and as tech dreamers, we want to try to communicate that, but the best way we know how, telling our stories in tech.
I think the game is great. I think this is a great idea and an excellent way of communicating this. How far does it go?
As you can guess, there's hours and hours of additional content, which we couldn't show you. But yeah, certainly the next step would be adding a bunch more scenarios and probably more characters. We've even talked about the idea of letting undocumented immigrants sort of tell their own story through this game and share that with each other.
It's a great idea.
Yep, that's it. Thank you very much. Next up, Noble Paths. Are you guys here? All righty. And make sure to introduce yourselves. Good luck.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Lopez. Where are you from? Oh, and I am from Falls Church, Virginia, born in Guatemala.
Hello, my name is Edgar Torres, and I'm from San Diego.
Hi, my name is Rocio, and I'm from Mountain View.
Hi, my name is Ivan. I'm from Oakland, California.
Hi, my name's George Zamora, and I'm from Irvine, California.
Hi, my name is Diana Torres, and I am from Arlington, Virginia, right next to DC. When I was 14 years old, my parents told me that I was undocumented. And the only thing that was more daunting than realizing that I was not a legal immigrant in the country was the lack of resources that I couldn't find.
And during this time, there is a lot of coverage on the immigration issue, yet there are still a lot of dreamers that don't know that there's opportunities to move forward.
Now, one thing that we've really focused on is bringing them together, because I really wasn't able to find any resources, and here we really will be able to do that. We'll be able to put them in touch with each other, just because many people in this country are able to find the resources because they do exist for them. Now, the undocumented population doesn't have access to that. Even though they might exist, they're not as readily available.
Yes, and Dreamers Together provides that solution. Dreamers Together is the bridge between those dreamers that are either in college or are already professionals with those high school dreamers that have just realized they're dreamers and they don't know what to do.
So let's pretend that I'm a new dreamer and I just found out that I'm undocumented. So I go to this website and I think, okay, well, I don't know very much about it. So instead of signing up or asking for help, I'm gonna go click the map. It takes me to this map and I'm gonna scroll over to California and see what's there. And it takes me to several profiles, several stories. I can look through them, but maybe I want something more tailored to me. So I click on Get Help. And here I can say, for example, I want someone to help me from Virginia that is a college student that can help me with college admissions. And I get a more tailored list. So here, if I can connect with a dreamer, I can easily look through the rest of his bio and even connect with him or her through the social media icons right over here. Now, if instead I'm a mentor, I can click on Give Help, and I can fill out this short survey and become one of the mentors.
And this website has tremendous potential for future functionality because we can implement filters that will not only share the story of dreamers in college, but also the lost generation of dreamers, just like Mr. Vargas mentioned to us yesterday. The dreamers in the 1990s that we're living in a time where it wasn't necessarily cool to be dreamer or okay to share your story. And so this has tremendous potential in the future.
What I really love about this is that it gives you a personal connection. It's not just a Q&A forum where you ask and maybe the connection goes away after, like a day or so. We really encourage mentorship and we really, well, any questions?
I have one. And I suppose this is something that we could ask of all the teams, but I'm wondering what the conversations were around exposing data and the vulnerability of identifying yourself as undocumented on such an open platform where anybody could see that information for any reason. What was that conversation like?
We did have this conversation, and as you can see over here, the default is anonymous. So you do have the option of setting that. And we also thought about how, well, as we can imagine, the government already has plenty of our information. So if they really wanted to, they could already track us down. But they do have the option of being anonymous or, like sharing whatever they want to share.
The other question that I have is, there's a few groups like United We Dream. There's a group here in San Francisco called Educators for Fair Consideration, E4FC. There's a group called the Pre-Med Dreamers, all like pre-med students who are dreamers. So those social networks already exist. Like, do you guys see yourself working with them and figuring out how you can work with the data and figure out how to work together? Is that something that could happen?
Yes, that is definitely a possibility, and something that we saw with Dreamers Together particularly is that it would be connecting those high school dreamers with local dreamers that are more of their age. If I, for example, am a dreamer, I click Virginia. Wow, I see all these stories of dreamers. I see one that's possibly going to George Mason. Wow, that's a school I'm interested in, and I can immediately contact him. And it's goes away from I'm contacting an organization versus I'm contacting a freshman in college that's my age, and I can really ask my personal questions versus generic questions that may not relate to me.
I should just say, by the way, this doesn't exist. I don't know of anything right now that's like this. So that's why I think this might be really good.
Yeah, or you could combine your tool and go to those groups that are already kind of bringing people together and have that as a place to get information in.
Yeah. Cool beans.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. And up now, Push for Reform. Are you here? Excellent. And now, Noble Paths, take it away. Well, wait a second. And make sure to use the mic, because I can hear you.
Hi everyone, our team is Noble Paths. My name is So, I'm from Cupertino. I go to school in UC Davis.
I'm Jim Berkman. I'm a mentor here from LinkedIn. My name is Jorge Torres. I attend school in Southern California, and I'm a computer science major.
My name is Margaret. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I'm at Stanford D School right now.
Hi, my name's Ye. I'm also international.
I'm Kürşat. I'm a mentor too. I live here, but I'm originally from Turkey.
So we found an interesting narrative surrounding the immigrant communities, and this specifically is a question. So you can't just apply and get your citizenship? Or why don't you just wait 12 years and get your legal status? So the answer is really simple. The system is broken. A better way to explain this is that the immigration system is kind of like this. There's also like a dark side of the moon where like you know it exists, but you know the problem exists, but you don't really see it, you know? So we want to reframe the narrative around this and cultivate a better understanding about the challenges and successes through the immigration pathway. So if you're an immigrant, we built a platform for you to help you create and showcase your visual narration of your crazy experience through the immigration system. So this is my story. I immigrated here.
Technical difficulties?
So I immigrated here on April 1st, 2001, on April Fool's Day. Like this whole story is like a crazy joke. We actually came on a visa, and we had a sponsor for our green card from a family friend. And we realized through this process, can you just go to the timeline?
Here.
The Wi-Fi's down?
There's no Wi-Fi over there.
No, hold on.
Sorry. So we applied for a green card through a sponsor, through a family friend. We waited 10 years for this process, only to find out that our application was rejected because our sponsors had technically scammed us. They reported less income than they made, so they could pay less taxes, and that made them ineligible to sponsor us. We appealed this process. We waited 2 more years, only to find out that we didn't have enough evidence to prove that they actually could sponsor us. So by the end of this process, it had been 12 years in the legal immigration process that resulted in my family's undocumented status. So using Noble Paths, I'm able to share my story and offer this as an educational piece about the flaws of the current system. Not only that, you could find people with similar stories.
Like my father, for example, who came here in 1984, and he waited about 25 years to finally become a U.S. citizen yesterday. And I mean, not all stories have a happy ending, but what we do want to do is make this website to be able to create a community builder to allow people to be able to foster a community where we can celebrate our stories and not hide them.
Something I really like about this is that one of the things that struck me is we've gotten a chance to meet a lot of folks who've been through the immigration experiences. That while certainly I see it's extremely difficult being undocumented, what's surprising is how difficult it is to go the legal path. Yep. And how much uncertainty people feel. If you lose your job, you get sent out of the country, your spouse can't work. And I think actually one of the things that's cool about this is actually helping to show the commonality across all the different immigrant experiences and helping to highlight that our system is broken, not just for undocumented immigrants, but for a lot of folks that have come through all different ways.
How are you doing that exactly? How will you show the commonalities between multiple stories?
So between my story and Jorge's story, there is one commonality, which is that the immigration system is extremely complex, and there are many fail points and break points between the legal systems where you can fall out of the system. And that's what we're trying to highlight throughout the timeline.
Both of us would fall in and out of the immigration process like 1 or 2 times, and through this timeline, we like to highlight that and to show people that don't lose hope, don't lose courage. These things do happen, but you got to keep moving forward. Like I said, for example, with my dad, it took him 25 years. It can be done. You just got to be really persistent and headstrong about it.
Although to Andrew's point, it could be cool to let you compare two timelines like next to each other.
Yes, it can.
And even if you combine that with some of the other projects where you're meeting other dreamers or other folks, like getting a chance to kind of compare your experiences in this, really cool visualization.
Yeah, I like how this isn't a question, but I like how it's easy to consume and browse, and looks like it's reasonably easy to write. And so you can imagine these stories getting picked up and tweeted and retweeted and that kind of blowing up. So
All righty, almost near the end now. Forward now, you guys are up on deck. And take it away, push for reform.
We're Push for Reform, and I'm Kent.
Hi, I'm Garthik.
I'm Caitlin, I'm a mentor. Oh wait, and I'm from Alaska, which is almost like being out of the country.
I'm Jay, I'm a mentor. I'm from Tennessee.
My name is Justino. I'm a student at UCLA.
My name is Luis Aguilar. I'm from Virginia, and I'm a community organizer. And I bet many of you care about immigration reform, right? But I bet a lot of you don't know who your representative is. I don't know. I bet that you also don't know how to contact them, and I bet that you don't know where they stand on immigration reform. But we have a fix for you.
This tool bridges the gap between those that don't know anything about the representatives and about immigration reform, and tells them more information about those things that we care a lot. What this website does is it's a web application where people can go online and enter their zip code. And once they enter their zip code, it's going to give them a list of the representatives that represent them in Washington, D.C. So when they see this list, those different profiles are the profiles of the representatives, and it has basic information about them. One of the interesting things is that it has many of those profiles have a grade. And what they can do is just click on that profile, contact, and it's going to give them information about that particular representative or senator, and it's going to ask them to get in touch with that senator, because this is not about, it's not only about informing the person, but it's also about making them to take an action. And we want them to share this information through Facebook, through Twitter, and also to call them. And once people take action, at the bottom of the page is going to aggregate those different actions, and the profiles of the people is going to appear on the bottom of the page. So this is extremely important, because as community organizers, sometimes we go to Washington, D.C. to lobby, and we don't have a tool that gives us that information that is going to allow us to lobby for a particular cause. And this is just, it's going to, bridge that gap and give them that information that they need to be able to lobby and promote immigration reform.
And we also got a tool, we got a number. If any of you wants to try it out with me, you dial a number which is 469-789-PUSH, and you dial this number, and you go to speakerphone.
Oh, wait.
It connects you to your representative. You put in your zip code, and then you can tell them. Let's see if it's downloading.
To speak to your congressman about immigration reform, please enter your zip code.
You gotta be patient. Is he here?
We're sorry, an application error has occurred.
I will testify that I tested it out before, and it did in fact give me my congressman's voicemail box.
Well, but we know that it works more than Congress, so.
Yeah.
Was that? No.
Actually, this question is for Joe, the president of Forward.us. So don't you think this is something that can totally live on Forward.us? I'm just curious.
You're making me commit now?
Sorta, but yes,
no,
right?
Look, I mean, this is great. Actually, I was going to ask, where are you guys pulling the grades from?
We're actually getting this information from the Sunlight Foundation, and also some of that information we're getting it directly from Forward.us. So Lita, she was extremely crucial in providing that information because it's, sometimes this information is not available to the public. Yep. Sometimes we'll go to Washington, D.C., or even to Sacramento to lobby for particular issues, and we don't have somewhere to pull that information from. And it would be great if we can just go to a lobby, someone's office, show up, and if we don't have that information, just pull out our phones and basically just get that basic information that is extremely crucial to promote and advocate for that particular issue.
No, I mean, this is great. I mean, we've definitely had a lot of folks ask to know where all their congressmen stand and know that who they should talk to, and I think this is really cool.
I'd like to just tell you about another organization called MapLight, which will allow you to also follow the dollars that are put into this, because there's really interesting patterns to be seen around who funds what and which candidates and which Congress members. And that said, I'm wondering how you respond to the potential criticism that, well, the people who really care about this issue don't vote for me anyway. They can't vote, which is something that we hear a lot in this movement, is that, what's at stake for me as the elected official?
Well, I think as elected officials, they have to realize that the demographics are changing, and it's going to come back to them if they don't take meaningful action. And this is not about an issue that they can play with every single day. This is about people's lives. It's about families that are being deported every single day, and people have to realize that this is a human and civil rights issues over time, and that if we don't do anything, we're doing a disservice to our community and to our society. And this is something that needs urgency.
And Karen Bass is an A+, so just
yeah, that was a mistake.
I think this is a great service, and I just want to reiterate Jose's comment at the beginning. I don't see why, which Joe kind of dodged, so I just want to kick it back to him. But
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, but why? I mean, why wouldn't we put this on the website? I mean,
No,
I think we deserve an answer.
Joe. Oops, sorry. All right, we'll put it on the website.
Thank you very much. Change is happening right here. This is change. You're making it happen. All right. And last but not least, I Have a Dream will join us from New York right after this team. So take it away, guys.
Hi, I'm Emerson Malca. I was born and raised in Peru, and I'm living in Menlo Park, and I'm one of the mentors.
I'm Edson, a dreamer from North Carolina.
Hey, I'm Alexei. I'm an Israeli citizen working here on a student visa.
My name is Tony. I came from South Korea and live in Sunnyvale.
Hi, I'm Nipun. I'm a mentor and I'm from California.
Hi everyone, I'm Junia and I'm from Texas. And yeah, awesome. Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about Forward Now. So our product, Forward Now, basically provides a way that high-profile people who support immigration reform will be featured on our website. So the idea is that their fans and followers will come with them and also show support for immigration reform with them. And one of the key things is that our goal was to be able to reach a lot of people at once, but just to reach a lot of people and not providing them with a way to take action wouldn't be a good idea. So we want to provide a tool that will be simple enough that it can easily make an action and connect with a congressman to say their voice. So in our application that we develop, we have a web application and also we develop for iPad and iPhone. It allows to feature celebrities or singers, athletes, scholars, and authors. And the idea is that their fans and followers will come and they will forward now with that person. So in this case, when they forward now, they have the option of sharing with to Facebook, to Twitter, or to even sending a tweet to their congressman. But one of the things is that just sending a tweet or electronic message to a congressman, it wouldn't be, the impact would be good, but it wouldn't be that great. So we had an idea that instead of just tweeting them, we're gonna also send a customized postcard. So so that we actually have some postcards that Emerson would be handing out to the judges. So basically the idea is that the congressman, they will receive a customized postcard from hearing about why they should why they should support immigration reform. And one of the other things is that we provide a very easy way for them to make a call to the congressman, and basically they will just enter a zip code and that will connect them to the right person. Yeah, so thank you very much.
I mean, first of all, I was going to say, I really like the postcard idea. I think, one of the challenges in communicating with Congress is, the higher fidelity the communication, the more valuable it is. Like phone calls much more valuable than like a chain email. But I think, being able to use an application that can let you customize, something on your computer, on your phone, and then turn it into something physical and pile that up in your congressman's office. And in Congress, they keep tallies of how many letters they get. Postcards also have the advantage they don't have to wait to go through it's a congressional security mail, so it often takes many weeks to get a physical letter. But a postcard, can go through faster. I think there's a lot of potential in using that.
Just anything with Shakira works for me.
And in case you guys can't see it, so what they did is they actually got photos of each of us. Yeah. This has a photo of me on it, and it says that I forward with Ashton Kutcher, which was an interesting choice for me. I'd like to discuss that later. Anybody here know Ashton Kutcher? No. So anyway, a beautiful design. I just wanted to say also that the design was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, there have been a couple of projects that have focused on telling stories and producing content that you can share through networks and share to your representatives in Congress. But I think that there isn't there isn't enough content that can spread throughout the internet that really touches people emotionally on this. And I think it's one of the things that you need in order to be able to really rally a lot of people. And some other movements have had that. And I think it's awesome that you guys and some of the other projects are putting some energy into that. I think that's something that's
Thanks.
And now for our remote participant. It's called I Have a Dream is the team of the name. And are we good, you guys? Give me a sign.
Hello?
All right, perfect. Take it away.
Hi there. I'm a dreamer here in New York, and I couldn't travel over there, unfortunately, but my heart is there. So I just want to show you what I built over the last couple of days. It's called I Have a Dream, and it's immersive storytelling tool for telling multimedia stories, first-person stories for a cause, about a cause. And it's basically intended for three different audiences: storytellers, NGOs, really small NGOs, like really small early startup NGOs, and web audiences. And I'm just gonna jump right into one of these stories to show you what it looks like. Okay. And you can see for yourself. I'm just going to shut up and let the story speak for itself. Just a couple of slides. And I'm going to show you just one more. It's one of my favorites. And what stands out there about these stories for me is just, the power of first-person stories in moving people and compelling them towards something, an emotional response. And, my theory is you can use that response to mobilize people for social change. And I think, FWD does that beautifully. And I want to, show the potential of using immersive, full-page captivating stories and on websites, code-based websites. This story about immigration and this full-screen presentation. It's picture that's wasted. I think it's a missed opportunity. You can't tell, first-person stories and captivate people, and that's my intention. And let me show you how you build these stories using this editor tool, which I already populated. You can add people here. You can add location, and let's add a new page and pick an image from our Facebook wall timeline. And so you can do that and publish it really easily. So it's a really I think it would be a great tool to tell stories, first-person stories about causes on the internet. That's it.
I think this is really well designed. I mean, the demo that we have here, because of the remote connection, had a little bit of lag, but when you see it in person, it's super smooth and extremely well done.
It's multi-platform. I mean, it's multimedia, right? So it can be audio, video.
Yeah. I mean, you don't hear it probably, but there's an audio in the background, and you can set your own audio on every single page, and it's intended to be short, so these can be played in full screen format. And you can jump around the stories at the end of the kind of like a YouTube video, I guess. That's my vision. I haven't built that part yet, but I think there's really a great opportunity there to engage people with stories, with something like this.
Yeah, I mean the stories are just really powerful, and I like the simplicity. And there's something just really powerful about that simplicity. And I like that you kind of take people through the process of kind of helping them to be creative in this sort of in this kind of focused way. And again, I think as Mark was saying, it really is about telling these stories and finding new ways to tell the stories. And I think this is really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about being undocumented is you always focus on the negative. And you sort of keep blaming the system and all that, and it's true. But there are a lot of upsides to life as well. And I think it's those little moments that give you the strength and the courage to carry on. And the more of them there are in the world, I think better. It's going to be a better world for all of us.
Yeah, so before we break to discuss all the projects, I just want to congratulate everyone who worked on one. I was really impressed by the quality and how much all of you guys got done. I've done a lot of these, and we have them at Facebook every once in a while, and a lot of people go into these nights with a big plan to get something done, and then they come out at the end with something that's barely done. And and obviously these aren't finished, but you've all made a lot of progress, and we're way further ahead than I think we all would have expected. And I mean, just in some of the comments up here, I think everyone is really blown away by the progress and the ideas and the execution. So congratulations to everyone here. All right.
Okay, so now we're going to break for a few minutes. Our judges are going to deliberate in the back. Feel free to get up and get some more food, some more refreshments, and come back in about 5 minutes. Thank you. Cue music. everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Please take a seat. We're going to get started in just a few seconds. Please take a seat. If there's no more seats for you, please just stand in the back and socialize. Awesome. We're almost there. Dreamers, take your spots.
Okay, we deliberated. It was difficult, and again, you know, as Mark said, I mean, I've also been in a few hackathons, and usually like half the teams don't even finish. And this was just really incredible what everybody accomplished. So the first thing I just wanted to say is, you know, this is just the beginning. You know, these are prototypes. All of these are amazing projects, and in total seriousness, we want to continue to work with all the teams. We really hope that you know, the teams can all work together. We have a code squad, which Darius, our CTO, leads, and anybody out there, whether on the teams or not, who wants to do volunteer coding for Forward, we've got some infrastructure set up. If you go to FWD.us/code_squad, so we've got some really awesome gifts for our dreamers. So a lot of awesome companies around the tech community. So we've got, for all of the dreamers, we have from Restoration Hardware has donated these really cool gramophone music players. Every single dreamer is going to get a Microsoft Surface 2 tablet from our friends at Microsoft. You're all going to get some headphones from Soul Republic. You're going to get a free Facebook account. There's actually some cool Facebook stuff too. Don't worry. There's there's also some HD webcams from Cisco, free storage space from Dropbox. So something that I think is particularly cool is there's a company called General Assembly that does training in coding and design, and they've offered all the dreamers 6 months free of classes to continue improving and honing your skills. StatHat is free StatHat accounts, and there's some awesome Facebook apparel so you can look like Mark Zuckerberg. But the winners do get something extra, which is that every member of a winning team is going to get a Jambox from Jawbone. So without further ado, here's Drew and Mark to present our winners.
All right.
Take the first one.
So this was really hard because all of the projects were really a lot better than we thought people would be able to do in one day. So we couldn't really actually pick 3 winners. We had to because we ran out of prizes. So we also came up with honorable mentions for each category. So we're going to start off with design. And you know, a lot of these were really well designed, and design is something that takes polish. So being able to pull this off in 24 hours, I thought was something that was really impressive. So the honorable mention for design goes to Forward Now. So you know, I thought it was really well presented and laid out, and the content was very visual and compelling. And in order to get people to share things, you know, from the experience that we have with Facebook, it's really important that you present something that seems visually compelling, and we felt like that did the job. So congratulations to the team that worked on Forward Now. All right, and the winner in design is I Have a Dream. And I mean, he's not here to accept it, So we'll just send him, I guess, that big thing. But I thought that this was a really beautifully done website where you could tell the story. He developed this whole framework for rapid animations and this whole framework for being able to publish all kinds of different media really quickly. Like I said before, I thought the remote connection didn't quite do it justice because it seemed a little laggy. But when you play with it in person, you press next and the animations are really smooth. And I think that's also going to help people produce a lot of content that you can share on social networks and that can get a lot of coverage as well. So congratulations to both teams that were winner and honorable mention in design.
All right, so next up is advocacy. And we sort of thought of advocacy as the ability to make a difference and have an impact, and whether that's in Congress or just in the lives of dreamers. And the honorable mention here was Dreamers Together. So building that social network for that one-on-one help between dreamers is something that, as Jose has said, that hasn't really been done before. So we really appreciated that. All right, and the winner for advocacy, which I guess Darius is pushing live in about 10 minutes, is Push for Reform. So we really appreciated that and thought it could make a big impact in Congress. So come on up, guys.
We're gonna get a group picture. Congratulations.
All right. Felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Photo. Great job. Yeah, we're taking a photo.
I'm moving this way.
We gotta say something. We gotta say push for reform at the same time.
All right, 1, 2, 3, push for reform.
1, 2, 3.
Push for reform. All right. And because so much of what we need to do here is storytelling, we wanted to leave this category for last. And for the honorable mention in storytelling, we wanted to give this to Noble Truths. Pats. Noble. That's what happens when you don't look at the piece of paper when you're, all right. And I don't even have an excuse. I didn't stay up all night. Noble Pats. We thought that this did a really great job of helping people tell the stories of their often nonlinear and winding journeys to becoming citizens, and I thought it did a really good job. So congrats to the folks on that team. And thank you for correcting me. All right, and the number one, the winner in storytelling, which I also think was one of the most impressive things that I've seen in a while, is UndocuLife. Being able to build a whole game environment that, so much of helping people experience these things is about interactivity, and I think you guys really nailed it. And as you build out more levels, I think, this is going to be great content that people can share around and share with Congress, and I think it's really going to tell the story and make the point that you're trying to make. So congrats.
So I want to thank everybody. We're gonna keep the judges up for just a minute so we can do photos with all the teams with the judges. So if the dreamers can kind of head over this way, everybody else can start enjoying refreshments. Yeah, sorry, with the dreamers and mentors. Sorry, and again. This has been an amazing event. I just really want to thank all of our dreamers who came from across the country. Hand all the dreamers. And I really, also want to thank the mentors who gave 2 days out of their time. These are And for me, one of the most gratifying things was seeing how much learning was going on in both directions between the dreamers and the mentors. I can't tell you, a lot of the mentors are good friends of mine and came up to me and said, I'm just so impressed by these dreamers and I'm learning so much. And hopefully we've got some friendships for life here. And again, thanks to our judges. Thanks everybody for participating. This was an amazing event. And thanks to all the team at Forward to help put this together. And last but not least, to LinkedIn for hosting us. We're unbelievable. Flow.